everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel. My name is Ashley and this is my stitching corner where I of course talk all things cross stitch. It's been a while. I have been fairly busy and life has just been kind of up and down for me at the moment. I will get into kind of what's been going on first before I get into the stitchy stuff, which there's actually quite a bit to show you guys. Do I remember all the projects that I've worked on since my last video? I don't, but I'm going to show you guys the ones that I've been working on dominantly. And if I show you anything that you might have seen since my last video, I do apologize. Not all the time do I make a habit of going back on previous videos to remember what I've done. So I don't know, I don't like watching my own videos, so it bothers me to go back and rewatch. And anyway, so recently, two reasons why I really haven't been stitching as much or been feeling like filming. The first main reason, and the reason which I had posted in my community tab, which some of you may or may not have seen, I lost my job working at the stable, so I no longer work with the horses, which has been quite a dramatic adjustment period for me. They were routine for me like 5 days a week, and obviously a very great source of, you know, therapy for me, for my mental health stuff. So to not have them, it's been about a month and a half now since I've been to the barn. So yeah, just kind of adjusting to life being without them now has kind of been weird. And then just before I kind of lost my job, I was starting to have issues with my shoulder, and I had been dealing with issues with my hand. I'm sure in previous videos I had kind of touched on that, and I had been fearing about having carpal tunnel, which my physiotherapist said, yes, I likely do have carpal tunnel in this hand. I probably have it in this one too. But with the physio that I'm doing, my symptoms are a lot better with this hand now, because I've been doing like exercises and things, so I don't have the issues in this hand that I originally had, so I'm doing a lot better with my hand. It's just my shoulder, which I was starting to get like a rotator cuff. I don't know if I had like a minor tear or whatever, that we're kind of trying to work on, getting my mobility, my range of motion, my strength and all that back into my shoulder and my arm. It's been a slow process, but we're really starting to finally get somewhere with that. And so that kind of has put a bit of a damper on my stitching too, because sometimes I don't really have like the best situation to sit in, and I don't feel, there's sometimes when I don't feel comfortable. And even my therapist today said sometimes when you're doing things like that, you hunch yourself over a bit, and that puts strain on your shoulder too when you're hunching. So yeah, it's just been a journey, and so I've just got a lot to deal with, and you know, seasonal depression on kind of top of that, and still doing a lot, dealing and trying to finish up my mom's estate stuff. So that's all just kind of piled on, and yeah, I know I don't really owe anybody any explanations as to why I haven't been here, but I figured I'd explain anyways, because I know some of you do care. So yeah, so I don't even know where to start. This pile is absolutely crazy. I have stuff everywhere. So this is going to be kind of a hot mess, probably. I've got 3 different piles of stuff. I've got my tablet here, and yeah. So if this is a hot mess, I sincerely apologize. I just grabbed all my stuff, threw it on the table, and went, I'll figure it out. So there's new starts, there's whips, there's haul, there's like all sorts of crap. It is probably just going to be all over the place. So yeah, I'm just kind of maybe gonna dive in at the top of the pile and kind of work my way through, and then try to do haul at the end, because I know not everybody likes the haul stuff. So yeah, so we're gonna just jump right in. The first project that I have to show you guys is a project that you've seen before. This is a restart. I restarted this project last week. Yeah, last week I restarted this project, and originally I was doing it on 18 count Aida, and now I have swapped over to doing it on 25 count easy count Lugana. So, and that is my epic Pokemon, the big boy. And you're gonna have to, I apologize, I'm still getting used to having a ring light for stitching. So that's the one, because I feel like if I bring it in too close, then the ring light's gonna catch everything. But there we go, that's the big one, the one that a bunch of other Flosstubers have probably stitched. And I will show you guys originally where I was on it before I restarted. So there was a lot done on this project, and so you might think, oh, why would you restart that? You had so much done. And I know this has been said on my channel before, I do not particularly care for 18 count fabrics. I will stitch them when they come with dimensions kits, but that's the extent that I go. I do not go out of my way to start projects on 18 count Aida just because I don't like it. And so the epic Pokemon was on this 18 count fabric that I got from like the thrift store, and it's just the quality of the fabric as well that just doesn't do it for me. Anyways, pardon the wrinkles. This has been through some stuff. But this is where this was at before I restarted. So as you can see, that's like almost probably a good almost quarter of the way finished. I was working really hard on it for a while, and I was trying so hard. You know, last year I was working down in this side and trying to get down this side here, but I just really cannot get past the fabric on this. So I went to Trading Creations a couple of weeks ago, and I paid Nikki a visit, and while I was there, with some of the stash that I will show you guys, and I'll talk about my visit to Trading Creations here in a little bit. I did pick up a fabric for a different project, and this is literally the leftover fabric from that project that I had just enough of to restart Pokemon. And so this is where it is at now. This is my new start part. So we've got Bulbasaur and Caterpie all finished. Metapod is pretty much done, and Fearow is coming in here. And this Link needle minder I made myself. Tears of the Kingdom. And so I'm really enjoying how this is coming out on the 25 count. It's, you know, going to be a much smaller design. It's still going to look, you know, the Pokemon are very, you know, they're still big enough. They're recognizable and stuff. So it's not going to be like teeny tiny or anything like that. But I'm really happy with how this is coming out. And yeah, so I've kind of just been tackling one Pokemon at a time. Started with Bulbasaur, did Caterpie, did Metapod, and then I moved up to start Fearow. So what my plan, I think, of attack for this right now is to kind of continue going up the left side of the pattern and to, you know, kind of get my height on the fabric and then cut off any extra that I need to. And then potentially then this way, if I keep stitching Pokemon as they're attached to each other, I can kind of go wherever I want with it, really. And I'm not really dedicating myself to stitching, you know, one Pokemon at a time as they're numbered or anything like that. I'm just going to do one at a time and kind of go in whatever direction I feel like. And yeah, so I'm really enjoying this restart. And let me see. I've decided against doing the blue background that is in the project. As you can see, there's a lot of you know, blue in the background around the Pokemon. I'm not doing that just because it's a lot of extra stitching. It's like 15,000 extra stitches that I don't have to do. So with that in mind, Pattern Keeper has all of those blue stitches marked off. So they're technically done, even though I haven't stitched them. So right now this project is sitting at 6.54% complete with 7,531 stitches completed. So I really haven't actually done that much work, but that's what the pattern says because it's acting like I stitched all that background, which I haven't. So yeah, really enjoying that one a ton. So glad to be back on the train with Pokemon again. And yeah, I'll see how long. I don't know how long I'm going to kind of work on that one for, but we'll see. And then the next one that I've been working on, which I don't think has seen a ton of work since the last update on my channel, but it's definitely seen some, I think. And that is my Strength by Jeff Haney, which is this one here. And I started up in the top left-hand corner. And so far, this is where I'm at on that. Oh, and I forgot to mention the Pokemon is being stitched 1 over 1 on the 25 count. And this is where we are on Strength. This is being stitched 2 over 1, 10 stitch on 25 count, easy count. This portion right here is getting bulky. I kind of changed my stitching method and the back just got really bulky and thick. And there's a lot of actual confetti in there as well, so anyway, that one's, I haven't done a lot on that. I've just, I burnt myself out on it a little bit, stitching so hard on it. So this one's currently sitting at 7.05% complete with 16,694 stitches completed. So yeah, again, I should pick this one up again soon. As much as I'm not a rotation stitcher, I flop back and forth between whether I want to do rotations or not, and changing my way of deciding how I pick what I'm going to work on next. But yeah, this one deserves to come out for some extra love. I'm just not entirely sure when that's going to be. So that is Strength. Okay, and then the next whip that I've been working on is one of my bigger projects. This is my Marjolaine Baston's 4 Seasons. And I started in the center working on the bench there. I did pull this out for one day and did a few stitches on it. It's still in the hoop. Oops. So this is a fairly big piece of fabric. So this is where I am on that one. So I've been working a bit more in this side of the bench to kind of get it finished off. So then I can start working on the back of the bench and get the second leg done and the seat. Because yeah, there's really not like a ton of stitching in these areas. It's just, it's a really big piece of fabric. So yeah, it does take a bit of extra to you know, wrangle it all together and stitch on it. But I love the little robins. I think they're really cute. I have to get these guys back stitched still, but yeah, this is a cute little project and I'm sure it'll come out again soon. Just depends on what I decide I'm doing with my rotation moving forward. Because there's no doubt about the fact that I do have to have some sort of rotation. Because I do have a very lofty goal of getting like a lot of finishes this year. And we're already into the 4th month and I've only got 1 finish so far this year. So I'm highly, highly behind on a lot of stitching. So that is 4 Seasons. The next one that I have been working on a little bit here and there, if I haven't shown it in my last video, is Wolf. I've been trying to get some of him done because he's a fairly decent, he's a decently small project and he's got a fair amount of half stitch in him. So he shouldn't be too difficult to finish, but this is where I am on him. So I've worked along his nose some more, kind of filled in the cheek, and I've gotten to the bottom of the design. And I filled in a lot of the white down there and some more of the branches. So I'm really, like I said, trying to aim towards getting him done this year. But he does need to get picked up again for sure. But I really love the detail in it already. It's looking great. So he's just being stitched, you know, with the kit materials. Is same that would be said for my Marjolaine Bassin. That was a kit as well. It's being stitched with all the kit materials. The next one is one I'm really excited about, and that is my Joan Elliott Spellbound. I've put a lot of work into her since you guys have last seen her. And she is being stitched on, I think, is it 28 or 25 count Lamplight from Polstitches? 28 count, I guess. She's being stitched on 28 count Lamplight. And that is from Polstitches directly, which I purchased her as the Bump in the Night box back then. What is that? A thread I didn't tie in. Interesting. Okay. Anyway, this is where this beauty is at this point. So, kind of cut her off a little bit. So the lighting is very much catching the fabric at what I would say would be, you know, true to life kind of. I've almost finished the one side of her cape altogether. And I've started working on getting more of the bottom part of her dress done. Her 1/1 skin on her face is finished. Her face is backstitched. And the 1/1 skin on her hands is also completed. I just have to add the stitching around it so I can backstitch it. And I did finish getting the rest of the materials that I need to finish her, the Kreinik and the Petite Treasure braid. So I will be picking her back up again very soon here and trying to continue on with her because I really do absolutely love her. And she's really not got a ton more left to her. She's not going to be as big and hard to finish as my Joan Elliott, my Canadian Beauty. She was big and there was a lot of little details in her that were difficult to kind of keep on top of. And this bag is completely covered in cat hair. And this is in my project bag that my friend Maria made for me for my wedding present. Lovely Halloween fabric. And yeah, if you live with pets, you understand my struggle of trying to keep cat hair off of things. It's almost impossible. I try to keep pet hair out of my office too, and no such luck. Now, the last portion of this video, I'm going to be talking about charting creations. Now, how did this start? How was it that I got involved with charting creations? I don't know why I think I just randomly ended up on her site, and I was just browsing just because I do that once in a while on different sites, and I'm like, oh, I wonder, and she was having a 20% off sale, and I was like, well, maybe I'll treat myself to something nice, because I haven't bought a full coverage in a while, and I'm like, I don't know, I couldn't remember the entire reason why I decided to go on her site. Anyway, moving on, that just threw me down a large rabbit hole. And I ended up purchasing a chart. Now, this is called Christmas Wolf Painting Large, and this is by Jan Patrick Krasny. And that is this design, isn't it? Oh my gosh, look at the wolves. The wolves. I'm like the wolf, but then these guys too. And just the little extra pieces in it. And the northern lights, icicles, and it's just really, really pretty. And I love wolves, like you guys know. And I started this in the top left-hand corner, as you do. Where did I put that now? Oh my gosh, here. And this is being stitched 1/1 on 25 count, easy count fabric. Now let me just show you guys how big this is going to be. Okay, this is a large, so imagine like supersized heaven and earth maybe. Okay, I don't even know if this is getting it all in. That's a massive piece of fabric. Look at my little start, okay? Massive piece of fabric. This is going to be giant friggin' enormous, okay? Anyway, let us move in and I'll show you exactly how much I have started. So this is the little star on the Christmas tree in the top corner that I have started. This is a fair amount of the first page. Let's see. I have completed 1,295 stitches, which puts me at 0.25%, which, oh Lord, right? That's really not a ton of stitching for a project that's going to be ginormous. This is 516,800 stitches, so like 500,000 stitches in this beast. But I do know stitchers that are stitching projects that are almost twice as big as this, mind you. Nicola at Simply a Stitcher is doing one that is over 900. Ooh, gosh, sorry, kick the table. Doing a project that's over 900,000, and so like it's a lot. And as you can see, I am stitching this in a hoop because the Q-snap is just. I learned that the Q-snap is just too much for me. It's too bulky, especially with a project this big. So. Yes, so I, of course, when I bought this, I was like, listen, and at the time, like I said, Nikki was having a 20% off sale, and I was like, okay. I was like, maybe I should buy some stuff off her website and spend some money. So when I ordered this project, I did actually order some other stuff too. And I was like, listen, I'll just drive out to your place and pick it up, if that's cool. And she's like, yeah, sure, come right on, like, make an appointment and come out and you can pick it or whatever. And so I drove out to her place and I spent 2 hours there shopping. And then I went back last weekend. Well, no, I went back 2 days ago and bought more. I would be ashamed to admit how much money I spent with her in the last little while. But you know what? It's been entirely, like, I deserve it. I've been through a lot lately, and I've been trying to be really good about my spending habits and buying extra stuff for stitching, and I decided I needed some retail therapy, and I deserve to spoil myself. So I have some haul. Like I said, it's a fairly decent lot of haul. Not all of this is from Nikki. Some of it is from online purchases that I made through like destashing groups and stuff. But yeah, so in this there is another new start, but I'll show that with you guys as part of the new haul type of stuff. So if you don't like haul, thanks for sticking with me and seeing what I've been up to the last little bit. And if you're here for the haul, buckle in, kids. Okay, so the first thing that I'll show you guys is this new start that I did. Okay, so the new start that I did, which is, of course, part of my haul, and that is Glendon Place's Dragon Affairs. So, meddle not in the affairs of dragons, for you are crunchy and good with ketchup. When we were at Nikki's and I was going through the Glendon Place designs, Larry saw this and he was like, you could stitch that for me. I was like, okay, say less. And so Nikki, of course, helped me pick up some fabric for it. And I immediately started it when I got home. And that's where we're at so far, which isn't much. And I'm trying to get this done for Larry's birthday at the end of the month. Yeah. So this is just a 14 count Aida in like lime from Zweigart. Nothing fancy. Needle minder I made myself. And I literally just kind of started at the tip of the dragon's head. And I'm doing everything in DMC except the ring around the dragon's head. I did purchase something for that, so let me just get that and show you guys what it is. I'm hoping not to make a ton of noise or anything. I really apologize for the ruffling and all that stuff. Nothing's been taken out of the plastics. So I did purchase some plastic colorworks for that. And I purchased, oh gosh, let's just see if I can make this work. This is called Black Coffee. So it's kind of gray with like brownie kind of tints to it. I don't know. But yeah, that's kind of what Larry picked out. It's kind of like browns and dark blues maybe. I really like it. So I picked up 2 skeins of that to use instead of what was actually called for. So I don't believe Nikki, it calls for Sullivan's floss, I think, and I don't think Nikki carries Sullivan's. So we just kind of went through all the, you know, fancy flosses and just picked something out. So yeah, that's my main project right now that I'm trying to finish for the end of this month. So when I'm done filming, I'll probably sit down with this in front of the TV and just hang out until Larry gets home and try to stitch as much as I can on this, because I did sort of promise to have it done by his birthday. So that's that project. Alright, next thing that I did was I did purchase a few Mill Hill kits from her when I was there. Ugh. First, I bought the Buttons and Beads Blue Jay, which I'm going to stitch and obviously put on the wall with my Riolis Blue Jays. I really love this one. I think it's really super cute, and I can't wait to start and finish that one as well. It comes with some really pretty colored beads, blues and teals and things, so that'll be a nice one to start. I also picked up a couple of Halloween ones. I got one of the Painted Pumpkins charmed ornaments. This is Glowing Pumpkin. So I really like that one. I did the Cat in a Lantern a while back, and then I wanted to get Spooky Cage because it kind of goes along with it, I think. I don't think it's from the same series, but it looks like it belongs with it, so I decided to pick that up. And then because I like cats, I had to get Bat Cat as well, because he's super cute too. And that one comes with like a little moon charm bead stone thing. So yeah, I got those as well. So some nice Mill Hills. I like to have Mill Hills. I'm not as crazy about doing them as some are. I like to do them, but I'm not like crazy about doing them. I like to have them on hand because they're quick and easy to stitch when you need like a palette cleanser from doing something big. What else did I get? I purchased my very first Soda Stitch patterns from her as well. I got the 4 Seasons charts, so I've got spring. And these are super, super cute. I'd never seen them before until I saw them at her shop. Summer. Look how cute that is. And I mean, this just reminds me of Nova Scotia life, like, because it's very nautical out here. Like, there's a lot of nautical themes because we're surrounded by ocean and there's a lot of fishing going on here. So yeah, that's just, and the lighthouse, I mean, yeah, I just couldn't say no to these. Autumn. This one's really nice too. And winter. For Christmassy. So I picked these up because I thought, you know what, these look like they will be something that they're not going to be super, super hard to stitch. They'll be something that I can use and swap out through the seasons in my home. And yeah, that'll be my first, you know, true experience with Soda Stitch. So I'm looking forward to that. I think their little people are really cute, but excuse me, they're not really something that I feel like I would display in my house, whereas these, excuse me, I would display these in my house 100%. Alright, another thing that I purchased from Nikki was a Dimensions kit that I've had my eye on for a while, that I was going to purchase off of Amazon, but for some reason there was like weird import fees or something associated with it. So I just bought it from her shop, and that is the Woodland Deer. Oh my gosh, I apologize. This table is so unsturdy. I am so sorry. I love this one. I absolutely just, ugh, deer have become a huge thing for me. I don't know why. But yeah, and the little chickadee at the top too, trying to make a nest in the antlers. I just can't. I just love it so much. So I'll be looking forward to starting that sometime closer to Christmas likely. What else did I get from the lovely Nikki? The next ones that I have to show you guys, I guess, kind of have some other stuff to go with it. Yeah. And I did buy, like, these are the materials and stuff that I needed. So my Kreiniks and my beads and some petite treasure braid that I need for my Sleepy Hollow and for my Spellbound. So that's what these lovely trinkets are. I will say that I try to get petite treasure braid whenever possible, because I don't really like working with Kreinik. However, if there's no conversion for the petite treasure braid, I will use Kreinik, and that's why I've got 2 spools here. This is the number 4 braid, and this is actually the cord, I think. Yeah, this is some cord, which is called for in the Sleepy Hollow pattern. So, but these beads are really pretty. I want to take them out just for a second and show you guys. I love the shimmer on these. These are really pretty. So these are like a metallic-y type blue. I don't know how well that's coming across in camera, but they're like really pretty. And these purple ones are like a multicolor purple. They kind of change color, you know, like color changing paint. You've ever seen that stuff that is like purple and blue at the same time? That's what these are. And they're very pretty. So I'm glad to have that. And then of course I told her that I was in need of some needles, so she gave me some 28s and some 26s, so I will have lots and lots of needles. I have 25 of each, so if I run out of needles anytime soon, there's a problem. So there's that. Okay, next up we have, I purchased 2 new Joan Elliots, because I love Joan, we know this. I did buy the Hydrangea Fairy, because hydrangeas are one of my favorite flowers. So when Joan released her, I was like, oh, eventually I'll get my hands on her and I'll stitch her. The yellow isn't my favorite, but guess what? It doesn't matter. And then I did buy some fabric for her as well. There's no intent to stitch her right away, but I did buy some fabric for her. This is from Fabric Flair, and this is an even weave, and this is called Fairy Mist. So if you guys can kind of see that, it's a very, let me try to fold it over a bit more. So you can see there's like greens and purples and blues and things, and it's very pastel-y fabric, which is beautiful. And if you're not familiar with Fabric Flair, they kind of print their fabrics on, and this is like a 28 count. And yeah, so they're one-sided on their fabrics. And from what I understand that Nikki's told me is this is more color fast than regular hand dyeing. So, yeah, that kind of sold me on it. And, you know, the color is absolutely beautiful, beautiful, beautiful colors. So eventually she'll get stitched on that. And as you can tell, 28 count even weave is my kind of go-to fabric. So that is the Hydrangea Fairy. Next, I did purchase the Sorceress because, hello, she's absolutely gorgeous. When I saw her, I was like awestruck and I knew I needed her immediately. And so I did purchase a fabric for her, which is out there. Okay, bear with me though. Okay, this is crazy. I've never seen anything like it, and I thought it was super, super beautiful. This is also from Fabric Flair. This is called Creationist Blue, and I believe it's a 28 count even weave as well. You guys aren't ready. Look at this. Look at this. So, this is obviously a very, kind of, what do you call that? There's a word for it. Why is it not coming to me? Anyway, and if the light will catch it the right way, there is sparkles, people. This is a sparkly fabric. Oh, there, see the light's catching it now. There's sparkles in this fabric. I just can't. She's like, I know it's different, but hear me out. And I was like, oh, you sold me on it. So, yeah, she's going to be stitched on this beautiful fabric. So that should be interesting. Should it be interesting? Oh, I lost my card there. So yeah, like I said, bear with me when I stitch her on this, but like it's gonna be something. It's gonna be something. So I'm really excited. And the sparkles that are in this come out, they're like a blue sparkle. It's very, very beautiful. Yeah. So now the problem is going to be, don't start it now, right now, because you can't. You have to just not. But that's going to be the hard part. So that is the Sorceress and the fabric that I chose for her. Next, I didn't mention this. I did get a Mill Hill painted frame for my Mill Hill bee that I did a couple, like in 2022, or like finished in 2023 or last year. I can remember. Picked up a frame for that as well. Alright, and then the next bit of haul is a couple of more projects that I picked out and the fabrics that I picked for them. So I did buy 2 new Bella Filipinas because I saw one stitched up in a Facebook group, or in yeah, in the Facebook group, and I just was like, oh my gosh. And then the other one I had to get because, you know, all of a sudden I have this obsession with witches. I don't know. So I've got Belinda Botanica, and she's the one that I seen stitched up, and I just absolutely, it's not focusing. There we go. She's absolutely adorable. I love her. And the fabric that I chose for her is a Permin Jobelin. I've never stitched on Jobelin before, but Nikki sold me on it. This is called Wood Violet, and it's like a purpley color. I'm not going to take it out of the plastic, but it's hard to show on camera, but it's like a mauvey kind of purpley color, and I think it should look good on there. And then the other one I got was Greta Goldbroom. Yeah, Goldbroom. Now the fabric I chose for her, guys, just bear with me, okay? I know it probably looks crazy. It's like it's called Lavender Rose, and it's a Zweigart Lugana. But my purpose for stitching her on this was to bring the purple, like the pinky purples out in the middle of her skirt. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is the point that I'm trying to make with that. So, yeah. I hope it works. So those are my 2 Bellas and their fabric, as well as I bought as many of the treasures and Kreiniks and things like that for them as I possibly could. So right now, so these are for a mixture of projects, some for the Bella, some for the Joan Elliott Sorceress, and yeah, that I bought some Petite Treasure braids for those. And for what I couldn't get the conversion for the Petite Treasure braid, I, of course, like I said, bought the Kreinik. So this is a very nice kind of emeraldy green color with a little, like, with like what I would call like gold flecks in it, maybe. It's very pretty. I like that one. And then a bunch of beads and treasures. So we got some kind of like greeny colored beads. I hope these are showing up okay. We've got a pack of pink glow-in-the-dark beads. Oh, I missed another card of Petite Treasure braid. Some more pinky beads. These ones aren't glow-in-the-dark, I don't think. No. They're just a regular kind of pink. We got some different colors of orange beads. The seed beads and glass beads. Oh, these are both glass. Sorry, my bad. But just 2 different types. More of a matted color and then more of a shiny. We've got some maple leaf treasures. I'm assuming these are for Belinda Botanica, potentially. It's hard to see them really, but little maple leaves are super cute. And we've got some more of those kind of mottled colored beads, the blue and purpley kind of changing color beads. Some of the larger glass beads, the little chunky boys, they're kind of like a changed color too. These ones are like a rosy kind of color. I like these ones. These ones are really pretty. These ones are beautiful teal. Oh my gosh, these must be for the Joan Elliott Witch. Those are pretty. And then some lavender kind of beads. And then there's a few, of course, there's a few things that I wanted to get from her that she's got on back order, or that she has to order in for me because she doesn't have any in stock. So, and then she talked me into buying a Snag Nabbit because I've needed this multiple times. And some tail end weavers. If you guys have never used tail end weavers, she's explained to me what they do, and she says they're great when you want to play thread chicken. Yeah, so she talked me into buying some of these. And that's pretty much all I bought from Nikki. Oh, and I got a scrap of some 25 count, easy count. It's just like a small scrap that, you know, she can't sell kind of thing. That she gave me for a start of mine. So thank you for that. And yeah, so before I get into the other little bit of haul that I have, I just want to talk briefly about Nikki and her shop. Nikki's fantastic. Nikki is a wonderful human being. It's just her and Lisa that run the place, and they work hard. But, you know, and I feel like there's times maybe that they might get a little bit of grief because it's just the two of them, and, you know, I understand. Like, we're stitchers and we're excited for our stuff and things. But I promise you, Nikki and her shop, they're like 100% worth it. And there might be times, like I said, when you might have to just wait a little bit. Sometimes it's a matter of things not being in stock, or there's supply issues, all those types of things as to why maybe things might be a little slower getting to than they should. But, you know, Nikki and Lisa work very hard. And not only do they have to work on, you know, filling orders from the website, but they also have to, it's just the two of them, kitting up the full coverage projects as well. So there's, you know, the kitting process, there's the ordering process, there's the filling the orders and shipping the orders, and there's just a lot involved for two ladies. So I beg you to please just be patient with them. They're working very, very hard. And yeah, that, like I said, if you're in Nova Scotia and you're anywhere near her shop, I do encourage you to stop by and visit, because she is super, super helpful. And she, you know, helping me choose the fabric for my projects, like I feel like she was like twice as excited as I was. So yeah, she's super, super helpful. She's wonderful person. And yeah, like I said, I encourage you, if you're in Nova Scotia, to visit her shop. If you're not in Nova Scotia, just check out her website, chartingcreations.com. And yeah, because if you haven't heard about her, she does the full coverage stuff, designs full coverage stuff, has licensing from multiple different artists and things like that. So yeah, definitely hit her up, give her website a little check out. Like I said, I bought all this stuff while she was having her 20% off spring sale. So like, oh boy, right? But yeah, so I can't recommend her enough, honestly. So that being everything that I've gotten from her, I did buy 2 kits from a little like a buy and sell cross stitch group on Facebook. There are 2 kits that I got. One is the Dimensions. This is The Wave by Jim Warren. This is a very popular image. As soon as I saw it, I knew I needed to have it because I love horses, but also when my mom first started to learn how to diamond paint, this was the first diamond painting she ever did. And so this kind of reminds me of my mom. So, yeah, I'll stitch that thinking of my mom, who, if you don't know, passed away last year in September. And then the other one I purchased was, this is from a Russian company, I don't really know the name of it, and you're gonna have to excuse the cat hair, like it's getting into everything, it's crazy. But this deer, look at that thing, holy heck, isn't that beautiful? And there's like beadwork that goes here, and there's actual like strings of like beads that go, you can just tack them on, cut them and tack them on. It's really awesome. And the chart and everything looks super easy to read. I'm really excited to start this one too at some point, but I'd never seen it before. And when I saw it, I was like, I need that. I need to have that. So, like I said, I'm starting some new obsessions with different things now. I don't know why. Witches, deer, tits. Isn't that crazy how you're like stitching your different, like your style changes, the things that you're into change so much over the years? Like, it's crazy. Like, I probably would have never stitched this like when I first started stitching. Back then it was all like Asian stuff. I wanted to stitch like Japanese geishas and all this stuff, and now my stuff has changed again. So anyway, yep. So that's it for me. So regular update video, haul stuff, 46 minutes. That's crazy. I haven't done a video this long in quite some time. But yeah, I'm really hoping to continue on stitching on these projects and having some more videos for you guys in the future. I'm not forcing myself to film. I'm not forcing myself to post videos. I'm just going to kind of do it at my own pace. I'm going to post when I feel like posting, and I'm going to stitch on when I feel like stitching on. Because if I try to force myself into a routine, if I try to force myself into doing any sort of schedule, like any of that kind of stuff, I'm just gonna get burnt out, and I'm not gonna want to do anything, and I'm never gonna want to film, because that's how I was starting to feel up until recently. Like, it's like, you know, I'm drawing all the fun out of my hobby by turning it into a job, which it really isn't, because Flosstube for pretty much everybody is just a hobby anyways. But it just, you know, it was feeling too much like work. Like I wasn't allowed to do what I wanted to do because I felt like I had to do specific things for the channel, not for me. So that's just how things are going to run from now on. If that's not your cup of tea, that's totally fine. I get it. But that's how it is for me, and that's how things are going to continue on, so that I can keep the channel the way that I would like to keep it, and I can keep myself happy, and just go with the flow of things. I am not saying that there is not a very strong possibility that this lady does not get started this weekend. I probably will start her. I also have Julia the Firefly Princess, which needs some work, but I really love her, and I really want to start her. Yeah, so Lord help me. That's the problem with being a stitcher, is like stitching all the things and not having all the time and all this other stuff. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching and sticking with me today. I hope you enjoyed. Please do like and subscribe if you like what you see, and I hope to see you guys very, very soon in my next one. Take care, bye. Take care, bye. Take care, guys. Bye.